Hey everyone, welcome back to another bullet train devlog. We will try something a bit different today, so let's start to figure it out. This week I continued working on the game, and part of it was that we now have an intro and a main menu.
Isn't that great? With actual functioning buttons. But let's get into it. In general, quite a lot of smaller and maybe some bigger changes as well happened this week again. One of them is immediately visible with the town changing again. I felt it was a bit bland how it looked previously, so I thought it actually makes sense to hint at all the different areas that I want to have in the game at a later point. So I reflected them here because I already built some of the levels for those areas, so it was quite easy to just add them to this hub area, which I think works out quite nicely, but I will likely still work on it a bit more. Another smaller change is that you now see the buttons that you need to press on the rail switches, because that confused some people and I felt it just makes most sense to directly display it. Another addition is that now the next run button actually needs to be held for 1 second. I had one playtester who was like, yeah, I'm somewhat scared to start a new run accidentally. Felt that's really valid feedback, so I added this as well.
During the run, I don't think too much changed. We now have shooting effects on the weapons.
These will likely still need to be adjusted. Every weapon currently has the same one. The upgrader, it's likely one of the bit bigger changes, now looks like this. And the reason why I changed this design was that I now have a bit more place to actually inform people of what they are currently doing, and then maybe the cost is a bit more clear. So now you see what actually gets upgraded on the orb. And it will also tell you if you have, let's see if I can get something here, if there is an upgrade that actually does not make sense, like you will not be able to upgrade it. So if I would try to have a multiply ice effect on the turret, it would tell me below that this does not have an effect and therefore does not make sense.
Then I also adjusted the map.
I see that this is currently off center. Oh, well, but there will now be a circle on around where you currently are, and the next lines that you can take will be highlighted.
Something likely completely new is that I now also have a dedicated tutorial level.
So if I delete my save, I now will have the new game option here selected as initial option. And if I press this, I will get thrown into a tutorial level first. This really helped, I feel like, to make the game in a stress-free environment clearer. Because yeah, here the basic functionality is explained. That yeah, you can dodge, you can jump to different train tracks, you can aim, and you need to jump over obstacles. And yeah, after you finish that, you then get put in the first level. So I feel like already I saw that this was quite helpful for a playtester, so I think that made a lot of sense.
The rest of my adjustments were mainly balancing and polishing.
I'm now at the state where, yeah, the playtester 2 tests before mentioned that the game is way too easy, then you make it a bit harder, then the last playtester mentioned it's now way too hard, and yeah, it's kind of the curse of game balancing, finding really the perfect amount of challenge versus feeling powerful. It is really delicate, so that is something I will continue to work on.
Another change, likely also visible, is that you will now actually start with only one card.
That was a feedback from playtesting, and I felt like it actually really makes sense that you figure stuff out with only one card, then you are also forced to use the upgrader a bit more, because I felt like also in playtests this did not get too much use yet. And then later on in the town can actually quite easily, quite cheaply buy a second card. So then there is the chance to go a bit more creative with your different train cards.
Let's go over what I want to do next week.
It will be again very much the same, just playtesting, polishing the game, figuring out balancing, seeing where issues arise and trying to tackle them, making things clearer. That train yard is still not very well understood. So yeah, just in general, improving the game, working towards the demo. So yeah, that's my main goal currently.
And with that was already everything. So as always, I hope to see you again next week. If you have any suggestions or feedback, feel free to leave them in comments. But otherwise, I will see you next week. Bye.